Look. Pinellas County cremation. You kill them, we grill them. Yeah, bye-bye now. I don't know why my phone would ring through my watch when I'm making a video. Where was I at? I don't know. Yeah, so focus. So yeah, let me make some noise here and see what happens. Washburn N4 Paduak 22 fret ebony fingerboard, pearl dot inlays, reverse headstock, Stevens cutaway. Oof. Put that on my hands. Yeah, it's got the cover on the tremolo. Love that. Floyd Rose 1000. And I just changed the knob. I just put this aluminum metal knob with a painted line and a dot, telling me that when it's facing that way, it's all on, baby. The Lawrence L500 pickup, USA, super loud, super bright, and a Duncan 59. So that's why I stack it with my Demon FX, because I have the tone turned on that, because this really sounds really bright and loud. And when I put some gain on, which I will in a minute, really like a metal tone, and I don't like that. Personally, myself, let's see what happens. Whatever this is, number 27. Is there anything there? Oh, yeah, Yeah, I got the phaser on at the end part there. That was different. I think I played that track before, but definitely, again, different. How many times do I pull my shirt down? I feel like I'm being choked. You know why? Because the seat that I'm on has a back rest to it. Every time I lean forward, it's pulling the shirt and choking me, man. I can't take it. So yeah, really glad that I pulled the trigger on this one here. And although I had to do some work to it, And you can see something that really bothers me every time I see it in a video is this like flat spot right here. For whatever reason, someone must have had something there, a sticker, something, or just, I don't know what they did something to it. And I'm guessing when they traded it in, this came from Guitar Center in Call Place, Long Island, which I've been to. Maybe they cleaned it off, got rid of it, or maybe some chemical. They tried something on this spot and it did that to that one area right there. You know, it bothers me. I tried putting like oil on there, thinking it would help, and then lemon pledge. But yeah, nothing happened. So the American flag, of course, right there. And then I believe, yeah, I did. USA on the back. I like me American flags on everything, man. Yeah, so proud of America. So coming in here and playing today, I was a little slow in everything today. Got up early, had breakfast, just getting ready to change and hit the gym. And one of my buddies calls me up, and the life of a professional musician is like the hours in a day sometimes don't apply to them, or they don't realize it. It's either early in the morning or it's late at night. And, you know, like when you have a family life, you got a routine. So, yeah, about an hour or so on the phone with him this morning. And just talking about other players, other guitarists that he knows. He's not fond of Carlos Santana, although I feel I learned a lot from Carlos Santana, listening, having his albums and seeing how he makes the guitar kind of like have a conversation and gives it soul. Well, he can't stand Carlos Santana, so I'll leave his name out of it, my buddy's name. But he's going on with other people and other people that he knows and played with, and hired here and there for his band when he was in a jam. One of the top three Long Island bass players. What I'm saying, yeah, another not one of my good friends that passed away, but Mike Frost. He's saying, yeah, I had him in a band once, and he said he's playing and he's singing, and Mike comes up behind him and whispers in his ear, "You're freaking great." And he said it scared the crap out of him. And he told me, he says, just whatever you do, don't do that in the middle of a performance. I think he said they were playing out in the Hamptons at the time. So yeah, we were just going on with different people and different players. Again, he said how the people that he knew in GIT in California, going out and around with, and I can't even begin to think of the names. But so I was kind of like, that because that kind of like messed up my schedule. I kind of was in slow motion mode, and just dragging my feet, taking my time with everything, coming home and having lunch and checking my emails and everything else. And yeah, I started looking at guitars again, not in the need for any, not have a thought in my head. I'd like to have a Les Paul style guitar with a Floyd Rose, but 22 frets. Not the ones that I had. The ones that I had were 24 frets. And and that's why I don't have them anymore. I'd like to have a 22 fret. And, it's there's a lot of other brand names out there that make some decent stuff. And then you have the Epiphone. What was it? The guy from Rush, his song, his guitar, Lifeson. So I was looking into those, and then of course I wanted to look for my very first professional electric guitar that I bought was a Cort Flying V, and I was looking to, try to spot one that was identical to mine. Mine was a Tobacco Sunburst, and it had the push button effects that run off of a 9-volt battery in the guitar. And it was a real nice guitar at the time, until I went into Focus 2 Guitar Center on Long Island, and I was like looking around, and I remember the owner, Tom Lavaco, pulls out a Dean, and like this is a custom made like USA Dean Flying V, and I was like, wow, what? It almost made mine look like a toy, and with the buttons built into it, it didn't help. But so yeah, I look around for that. But so coming in here today, I'm a little bit slow, and I just figured I'd pop on the video and play something different. I think I'm going to put a video out like every Monday for now on, either every Monday or every Friday. I can't make up my mind, just because I'm in here, but I'm not recording as much as I'm playing. Playing the guitar, you have to have it within you. And I'm one of those guys that I was born with, when I get into something, I do it. I take it to the max. I'm all in, and I just go all out with it. And playing the guitar is one of the things that, guitars, that I just enjoy doing every day. And if I don't come in here to play, like especially over the weekend, if we're doing something, I try to sneak in here while I'm like waiting for my wife to get ready to get out the door. And I'll come in here and I'll just play cold. And then I'll be somewhat satisfied with that. But going like a week when we go away on vacation and having a whole week and not having a guitar in my hands at one point, I know how it is now for people that have an addiction, drinking, smoking, whatever, because I'm like, oh man, I really want to play. I really want to play. So yeah, and I even dream about playing guitar. It's funny. The things that I dream about is playing a guitar, surfing, riding a dirt bike, a mountain bike, or fighting. And those are like my passions right there. And Long Island, we used to, I was, on Long Island, surrounded by salt water. So we were in the middle of Long Island, central Long Island. So 20 minutes, in either direction, pretty much, you have water on either side. And, I used to go to the beach as many times as I can. Fortunately, my wife, Laura, is a beach person, and we lived right off the water in Rocky Point. We had our own private beach, and we used to go there every I think it was every other weekend, or yeah, just about every other weekend on a Friday night or a Saturday. And it was sweet. Coming here, it was, again, we wanted the beach, because when we were in Greenville, South Carolina, everyone was like, oh, you want the beach? Drive to Myrtle Beach, 3.5 hours. And then you got to spend the night, because you're not going to drive 3.5 hours, go to the beach for a couple, and then drive back home again. So, we were like, yeah, we don't like Greenville too much. It's not as what we thought it would be. We missed the beach. And when right out of high school, fresh out of high school, I went right to Daytona Beach. And I remember 78, I was at Daytona. I was living at Daytona Beach and working, and going to the beach, and all of a sudden I got turned on to the surfing community, and I couldn't afford a surfboard, so I was seeing other people either surfboard or like they were using a raft, like an inflatable device as like a boogie board. They really didn't have boogie boards at the time, unless you kind of someone broke a surfboard and then they just used the first, the first half of it, and I think that's what triggered the boogie board sensation. So, we would be boogieing on the waves, and all of a sudden I had a neighbor that moved in next to me. The owner had rooms in front that he rented, and then he had apartments in the back, right across the street from the beach. I just have to cross the street and I'm on the beach. And one of the guys that moved in next to me, Howie, he right away he bought, a longboard. Didn't know how to surf, but he just figured, he'll buy a board. He had the money for it, and he was like, keep it outside and say anytime you want to use it, go right ahead. So I used that board more than he used the board. I remember coming home, I would ride my bike home, because the second week there, the car got stolen. So, a bicycle back and forth to work. I would ride home for lunch. I would eat something for lunch, ride back to work again. After work, get up at like 3 o'clock, ride home, and, grab the board and be on the beach with it. And I was part of a skateboarding team in school. So going from a skateboard and doing tricks and wheelies and 360s and stuff like that, 180s, and then going to a surfboard was very natural. And I remember being out there all the time, just like every day, really. And when you had a nasty day of weather, like rain and all, you had better waves in Daytona Beach. Jacksonville was better than Daytona Beach as far as waves go, but when a storm or came in, and I remember, and you get familiar, like my other neighbor that was living in a house. He owned a house next to where the apartment was. He was going out all the time, so you get that commodity with everyone. And I remember going out there and surfing, and we had a hurricane hitting, and I'm like, I'm going, I'm hitting. I said to my landlord, I said, the hurricane's coming, what are you doing? And he says, I'm staying. And I says, okay. I said, well, I don't have a car anyway, so if you're staying, I'm staying. If you're going, I'm going. But I'll stay here with you. He's like, all right. So I grabbed the board, I go out and I'm surfing, and my neighbor's out there surfing, and he came in early, and I saw him leaving, and I'm still going out there, and I was getting hungry. About 2 hours went by. I go back in, and as I'm going back to my apartment, my neighbor is out there, and he's like cleaning down his board. And I said, hey, you weren't out there too long. I says, he says, I just got there a little bit before you. He says, but a shark went over my board, so he called it a day. And I'm like, well, thanks for telling me about that. So I clean off the board that it wasn't my board, but I'll say I'm cleaning off my board. I go back in my apartment, and I hear a knock on the front door. I had like 4 jalousie windows that you would crank open. I hear a knock, and I open up the windows, and it's my landlord outside going, we're evacuating, pack a bag. I'm like, okay. So yeah, not even a hurricane would keep you out of the water. So it's funny too, because I'm watching a series now, I think it's on Max. Max or Paramount Plus, the 100-foot wave with McNamara, and I'm in the second season now, and I'm like, oh man, I miss surfing so much. Before I left Long Island, I had a pro board, and with three fins, and I sold that. Three things I regret: my surfboard, my 69 Stingray, and my drum set, my Ludwig John Bottom Maples kit, oversized drum kit, the entire kit. Those are the three things I miss the most. I also get rid of a Darth Vader, a real nice Darth Vader helmet, and my mother that had a lion holding a family crest with my family crest on it. Me and my brother each had the same thing, but you know, we had so much room to go, and a lot of stuff was at the curb, unfortunately, even in like an entire living room set. It was crazy. But might I digress, right? Good times ahead. Thanks for watching. Have a good day and a better tomorrow.